and now. Just to give you a little history on how they got started. A pioneering group of physicians and social workers formed the first association for prevention and relief of heart disease. That was in New York City in 1915. They were concerned about the lack of heart disease information, and at the time, heart patients were considered to be doomed, just bedridden. So they conducted studies in New York and Boston to find out whether heart disease patients were able to return back to work safely. Similar groups formed in Boston and Philadelphia, Chicago, and evolved into heart association in the 1920s. So the interest spread widely into other cities across the United States and Canada, recognizing the need for a national organization to share research and findings to promote further study. So there were 6 cardiologists representing several groups that founded the American Heart Association in 1924. And by the late 1930s, Heart Walk members began trying to consider ways to expand their activities and reach the general public. In 1946, the American Legion donated $50,000. Back then, that was money, right? So they donated $50,000 for research. To broaden its scope in 1948, the American Heart Association reorganized. They invited non-medical volunteers, people with skills such as business management, communication, public education, and fundraising. So with the public support and fundraising efforts, the Heart Association made its debut in the late 1948 during a network radio contest. The Running Man, it was a Truth or Consequences radio station that had this contest. And what it did was you had a time to win, where you could win real fabulous prizes. So what they did is, you had to do to qualify was in 25 words or more, why should we all support the Heart Association? And then you send in your name, your contact information, and a donation. And I guess like each week, when and they had to try to name, the whole object was them to try to name who the Running Man was, to just be able to disclose his identity. So everybody's trying to guess, they're sending in their donations, their plus the prizes that they were gonna win were really fabulous. So by the time, each week, if no one guessed, they started adding more prizes to the pot, right? So by the time they named the Running Man, they had raised $1.7 million. And the Running Man's name was Jack Benny, by the way. And so then the next year, they launched their first national fundraising campaign, and they raised another $2.7 million. And then from there, the association is transformed, as we know, into one of the nation's most driven forces, providing credible heart disease and stroke information for effective prevention and treatment. And as many of you guys may know, here at FTB, we have an annual heart awareness fundraising that we do here. I was approached by Donna Crisp to help with the fundraising for the Heart Association, because for one, I too had lost my husband to a heart attack. And then later my mother to congestive heart failure, excuse me. And then here at Franchise, we've lost a lot of co-workers, friends to either strokes or heart attacks. And myself, this past March, I had a stroke, and I am a survivor. When I had my stroke, I was sitting at my desk, and I had no warning. It just came all of a sudden. It was there. And then I knew by the awareness that I have received from, just being in doing the fundraiser for the Heart Association and for our Hearts of Walking team here at Franchise. I kind of knew the signs when they came, after they came on. Like I said, I had no warning. But one thing I wanted to say is by the time the paramedics got here, the way I was feeling, it had subsided by then. And like a lot of us will say, oh, I don't want to go, I feel okay, and we don't go. And I almost didn't go that day. If I hadn't went, I would have never knew that I had a stroke. And heart disease is one of the #1 killer here, all over the world. About 1.1 million people will either have a heart attack or suffer some kind of stroke. And unfortunately, around 460,000 of that will be fatal. But I first started around 8 years ago fundraising in the Filing Division with Dr. Chris and for the Hearts of Walking team. Since 2008, the Filing Division Hearts of Walking team has raised over $21,000. And between the 2008 and 2014, the franchise as a whole has raised over $80,000. Our teams have gotten stronger since then, and also Saturday, September 25th, we have a walk for heart. We have a community heart walk for stroke at William Park, and also they're having a bake sale September the 9th here in the Redondo Beach. And my thing is, if you know the signs, I have some handouts here to giving you the symptoms of heart attack, just so you know the signs. If you have any of those signs, don't hesitate, don't wait, just please call 911 and get medical attention as soon as possible. Thank you.